So as people start to come in here, let yourselves be known in the chat if you want. If you don't, you don't have to. But yeah, all questions on the table today. It's only one thing I can't talk about. But besides that, whatever y'all want to talk about. So, how are you today? It's lunchtime around Eastern Standard Time. It's the 15th of November. What do you guys think? Okay, so there's been a breaking story. Apparently, The Onion bought InfoWars, which is kind of funny. But apparently, InfoWars wasn't the highest. I'm sorry, The Onion wasn't the highest bidder. The highest bidder was someone that offered way more, and they rejected that, and they sold it directly to The Onion, and now they're under investigation. So, Alex Jones still has a Twitter. It's the Alex Jones Network. And they basically did to him what they did to Talk Show. Everything's going to be uncensored now. There's not going to be any people telling him what to talk about. And if you thought Alex was talking a lot of smack before, he might be the most, him and Trump might be the most entertaining people on the planet. And I'm not saying that because I agree with them. I'm saying that because they are entertaining. And there's a reason why they're very popular. I think Trump is probably the best stand-up comedian in this country. But anyway, I'm going to let some more people come in. Again, I didn't vote this election, and I don't vote. I don't play a part of this. I don't vote. But since you guys are here now, the title is All Questions on the Table. So fire away and hit me with some shit. I'm going to show you guys something. Have you guys ever seen a cryptex before? When I had my first book turned into a screenplay by my publicist's son, who does that, he sent me a flash drive in this. Now, how do you open this? Well, you see how there's a line that you have to add it up. What's going on, my friend? How are you, brother? It's good to see you here. I've been following your Twitter, and I see a lot. You have some really amazing information, and I see Twitter blocking you. People like me and you, we don't get a lot of views because despite what they'd like you to think, people that think outside the box, they don't like that. Anyway, so this cryptex. So what is the code? Well, he gave me a riddle. He said, it's good if one person has it, but the more people that know it is bad. Or something to that effect. You guys have any idea what the code was? I'm going to show you because I have to do this. So one person has it, it's good, but the more people that have it, it's bad. And I'm like having an issue here. Hold on. What do you think it is? Because it took me I'm trying to get I'm trying to see what's in here. And it took me a while to get this riddle. Do you guys have any idea about what happens? What one person has is a good thing? This is not going like I expected it to. So the keyword is secret. So you use the cryptext, SECRET. And for some reason, this won't open. But the code is secret. And then in here was a flash drive. You can get these cryptexes, guys. You might have seen them on the Da Vinci Code. You can get these cryptexes on Amazon for like $30. And you can put money in here. You can put whatever you want, give them a riddle, and send it to people. Now, the ones on Amazon, I think most of them are secret. I think that's the answer. But I just wanted to show you guys my cool cryptex. So appreciate that, bro. And yeah, I'm hoping the outlook can ease up now that pro speech people are in office. Yes, been seeing you go live a lot as well. Appreciate all your work as always, my friend. You too, brother. I think I've actually interviewed you, right? Yeah. You're a good man, my friend. So we got a bunch of people in here. So let me just start with what I wanted to talk about. I have a ton of books, but this, Into the Rabbit Hole, Micah Dank, Beneath the Veil. Any of you guys out there that don't have my first book yet, I would ask for support to pick it up. Now, I'm only saying the first book. There's an 8-book series, this is. And I'm only asking you to pick up the first one and see my flavor. And if you like it, let yourselves be known. I've been getting nothing but positivity about the book series, but not enough people are reading it. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So let me see here. Yes, I need a part 2 soon. My camera didn't work last time. Well, here's the thing. The last one. I call everybody by their handle. I know a lot of your names, but I don't. If you don't have your name there, I'm not going to dox you. It's not really doxing either, but I'm not going to just expose you. The things that you talk about, the last one, are things that would get my channel the 3rd strike. Now, I have a Rumble. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is I have all my work. You know how like Archaics has flash drives that are color coordinated? I have flash drives too that have all my work and all my books. And Merlin is here. Morning. Good morning. Bought the children's book for my little girls. If you guys go to, and I'll put it in the comments, debunkmywork.com. That's my website, and you can get all the books from there. All my social media, my YouTube, my Rumble, a way to contact me, all my astrotheology work. It's all there on that website. What day does the asteroid hit? Are you talking about the mini moon? Are you talking about the second moon? It's not really a moon, but it is affecting everything because it's pulling gravitational waves away from the moon. It's fucking everything up. This second moon. I think this is the asteroid you're talking about, Stephen, because it's technically an asteroid, but it's in orbit, much like the moon is. And I just haven't heard when it's going to hit. But let me know, guys, if you know. Thanks. I don't want to go to Amazon. Money you deserve. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look, I don't care if you want to buy it from me signed. I actually just met up with a girl. The girl that was live yesterday with me, I just met up with her at a THC smoke shop, which is not far from where I am. And she came from an hour away. And we talked. We hung out for a little bit. She bought my first book. And that's what it's all about, guys. My books are like $16 on Amazon. They're a little more if you want them signed. But if you don't want them signed, I want everybody to read this stuff because it's important. It's important to understand what we're talking about. And my book series has eerily predicted many things over the last 12 years. So we got a bunch of people in here now. So if you guys want to support me, you could buy the flash drive, you could buy my books. That's how to support me. That's how to make this channel great. That's how to help. And it really exposes a lot. And they're kind of soft pills, basically. So people who are just waking up, this book series is for them because they can read all this disturbing stuff in a storyline fashion and keep it there. These books are gateway drugs, is what they are. So, I want to know how you all are doing. And, yeah, let's see if any comments, guys. All questions are on the table. Jamie, what did your girls think about the book? I also have well, let's see here. Hold on. I'll see if I could show it to you. There it is. Okay, hold on. I wanted to show you guys this too. This is on my website. This is my kids' book. A is for Aries. It's for 6 to 11-year-olds. I wrote it with my astrologer, Priscilla. I'm very proud of it. It's for young kids to start waking them up to that. And then on my website, if you scroll up, it says read these books in order. This is my book series, and these are in order too. So these are my 8 books that I have out. And start from top left to the right, then down and to the right. I've learned how I'm manifesting the elementals that are communicating with me. Okay? That's fantastic. It takes a lot of work. Good job. How are you feeling about the cabinet picks in this new term coming up? Well, I don't vote. The last one, I don't vote because I think politics is all nonsense. You're never going to be happy, and you shouldn't look for politicians as saviors. And they should have term limits. Why does the president have 2 terms? 2 terms. Sorry. Why does the president have 2 terms and Senate can be there until they're dead? Literally, Dianne Feinstein, I think, died on the Hill. And I'm pretty sure that Nancy Pelosi's 84 and she just put her paperwork in for re-election. A lot of the picks are great. I like Vivek. I like Tulsi. I like RFK. There's some really good picks. There's also some really shitty picks like Marco Rubio. But at the end of the day, you got to understand is we see everything that these politicians do, but when you're up in that high level, you're surrounded by people all the time that feed you information. Whether it's tainted or not is different, but it's not like normal people like us can just scroll on Twitter and be like, oh, that's what happened today. Oh, this is exactly what happened today. Oh, we should do this. People at the top, politicians and everything, they don't listen to people like us. They don't even go food shopping for themselves. Politicians don't know the price of things. Wondering if you were following Andrew Collins and the Milky Way symbolism of the snake cults, apparently at Karahan Debbie. Ooh. Merlin, send me a link. That's very interesting. And that's a good point. Yep. No way, I thought it was the last of Nancy Pelosi. She will die in office. But anyway, this book series, I'm going to leave this up for a little while. This will tell you what's going on in the world and all sorts of secret truth bombs A lot of them I haven't even put up as my own truth bombs on my YouTube, but they're all in the book series. You've never read a book series like this. It's like Da Vinci Code meets 1984, but with real life. All the names in the books and most of the names in the books and most of the places they go to are anagrams for things that happen in the real world. That's how I made it fiction. I just changed around the world. Like, for example, the Bohemian Grove. I call it the Big Heaven Room because that's an anagram for it. But you know what you're reading when you read this. So, if everybody could pick up the first book and get back to me and let me know what you think. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But that's just one book. This is a series, and I'm very proud of it. And I didn't self-publish this. I actually have a publishing house. That took me a very long time to get a publishing deal. It took me years. But I finally got one. They're willing to put out anything that I want. So, for the most part, I would appreciate you guys picking this stuff up. But I'm not seeing any comments right now. Does anybody have any questions on the table? Some of these questions are really good. And so far today, I'm not familiar with a couple of them. It's pretty interesting. That usually doesn't happen for me. But I'm always willing to learn something new. And if you send me a link, I'll watch it. Like what Merlin shared before. But let's see. Are any of you guys have questions? I'm looking at the chat. I don't see anything. So the last one, let me also remind you that when they announced RFK as the head of health, the major pharmaceutical companies out there all took a nosedive in the market, which is fabulous. It's fantastic. How expensive is the book writing publishing process? I'll go over it with you real quick, last one. So what I did was I wrote my first book. And then what you have to do when you want to be a writer is you need what's called an agent. It's no different than Hollywood, CAA, any of that kind of stuff. You need an agent. So I started querying all these agents, hundreds of them. And one finally got back to me and said, I'm interested. So, okay, now I have an agent, but now what? Well, this agent is going to put together pitches and proposals to publishing houses for you. Like a summary of the book, your bio, everything. And publishing houses are more likely to look at you if you have an agent rather than unsolicited. Or solicited, I should say. And when you do get the book deal, or when they do agree to publish it, you basically go through your agent. You talk to your agent, and then eventually with the publishing house, the agent will tell you, just call the publishing house directly. I have a good relationship with my publishing house. How expensive is it? Well, let's put it this way. Publishing houses edit for you, or they will. If you were to edit a manuscript or send somebody a manuscript to edit, like one of these professional editors, they'll charge you like $1,500 or $2,000 just for one book. It's unsustainable. It's impossible. I had 8 books. That would have been 16 grand. So what you do is you find somebody who's an editor or on Fiverr or something, and let them make the changes, and then you send it in to the publishing house, and the publishing house will then get their editor to go through it, and there should be a lot less mistakes too. But that was basically it. So the last one, when I gave my publisher my first book, I also gave them the next 5. So Beneath the Veil, The Sacred Stones, The Secret Weapon, Pangea's Pandemic, The Hidden Archives, and The Final Type. I gave all of those to them right away. And they're like, you wrote 6 books already? And so I sent it to them. And basically what happens is they'll make edits. They'll send it back to you. You have to look at their edits that they've made and approve them. And then once all that's done, they'll make a book cover for you. You approve that. They'll get an ISBN number for you. They'll do all that for you. And then the book publishing company will put out the books. And over time, these books have been my second book, The Sacred Stones, on Audible was narrated by Bronson Pinchot, Balky from Perfect Strangers. And I selected him out of 3. And so it's a pretty interesting listen that's who it is if you listen to it. What about realms and dimensions? Realms and dimensions are all right here. It doesn't work like this. This isn't like Milton's Paradise Lost where there's levels to heaven. It doesn't work like that. Everything is here. Here. Everything. Interdimensionally. The dimensions are here. They just vibrate at a different frequency. In fact, the past and the future is also here, vibrating at a different frequency. But, let me see here. I think I understand it, but I'd like to hear your take on realms and dimensions. Yeah, so there are 11 dimensions according to string theory, with 11 being the ultimate Godhead, which is everything. We're in the 4th density or 3rd dimension. When you start to go to higher dimensions, you get back to your light body. Because here we have evil and anger and sadness. And we don't have that in other dimensions, in higher dimensions. We don't have that. That's just this dimension. This is the fall. This is the great fall. That every person that's born, it's the great fall from heaven. We actually have, I don't know if it's CIA, but I know somebody's mapping out the dimensional realm, especially on DMT with like the mechanical elves and all that stuff. They are mentioning that. They're working on that. Have you found Dan Go Thoughts YouTube? Claims to have found simulation proof via spirit molecule inside fractured laser. 1000s have done this experiment so far. Is this simulation? Are we in a simulation? That's the question. There was another book. I'm struggling with this right now, but basically, I mean, reproducible things like that are fantastic. I mean, I still think the jury's out if we're in a simulation or not, to be honest with you. I mean, some people will say that this entire universe is in a jar on some alien's desk who got a C on it in his class. It's a pretty good way of thinking about it. I've seen that. It's amazing. Thank you. Do us humans actually die or become undead zombies when we pass? Like, is it a cover-up or something? Death is a way to explain leaving this realm. The reason religions work so well is because they capitalize on your fear of death. They capitalize it. And they tell you heaven's going to be there if you just do everything you're told. When we die, you'll see a white light, the tunnel. Do not go into it. Tell this to everyone. Do not go into the white light. Do you know why? Because it's a reincarnation trap. What you do when you see the white light and you see all your family members and your pets and everything, you turn around and you ask the universe to send your soul back to where it came from. You get to keep so many near-death experiences, astral projection, they leave the body, but they don't have eyes, they don't have ears, they're spirit. But yet they can see perfectly and they can hear better. Everybody who's on a NDE talks about how all their senses are heightened. You take your senses with you and you take your memories with you and you leave everything else. Are humans able to travel to other planets with spacecraft? There's some black box stuff that they do. Yeah, it's out there. They might never release it, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're talking about Elon Musk going to Mars. That's a conventional way of travel with a rocket. But there's other forms of material that allow you to basically, what it does is, let me remove this first. Okay. What it does is, this is space time. And what it does is, instead of you going towards the speed of light through space time, what it does is it folds like this, and then it comes out like this, and you end up over there. You can bend space time. That's what it is. It's more like, think of it like a knitted rug. That's what space time looks like. It's like a rug. And they're absolutely able to manipulate that. Balky loves him. Yeah, he's a great dude. I've had a few conversations with him. He asked me. I used to be an actor. Remember? I told you guys when I was in my teens and 20s, early 20s. I was talking about Balky, and I was talking to Bronson, and I was giving him notes on the characters, and he did a great job in the second book. It's all happening at once. Everything is, yes, space-time is different. Now, when you go to a higher dimension, there is no linear space-time. Space-time becomes more malleable. So you can go into the future, or you can go into the past, because you're out of space-time. You're welcome, brother. Rudolf Steiner has really been helping me. Good. Rudolf Steiner's a good one. Can you explain the Great Fall more? We all are part of God. If you ask religious people about God, the first thing they're going to tell you is he's infinite. First, they'll tell you it's a he, then they'll tell you it's infinite. But let me ask you guys a question. What exists outside of the infinite, of everything? Nothing. So people saying we're made in the image of God, we are also part of God. And I know that's heresy for a lot of people, but it's true. And they will find that out the hard way. I've heard many examples. I've heard personally many examples of religious people that have passed on, even for a little bit, or had an NDE, and they end up with people that think like them. So they'll segregate them because they need to be deprogrammed in higher dimensions. They need to be deprogrammed from all the bullshit dogma. So the Great Fall would be from the 11th dimension, and then it drops you through the third. Your soul comes down into the third. And the purpose of life here is experience. You're supposed to experience things. I love Steiner, but Micah Dank is my favorite teacher. Thanks, Jamie. Jamie's a longtime friend and supporter. It's code like letters, and numbers like on wait, let me read that again. It's code like letters, like and numbers, like on surfaces. Okay. Dan Go has gone live about it for 114 days in a row. If you want to email me his YouTube channel, Into the Rabbit Hole Series at gmail.com. Like warp drive, it folds space. It does. See, the idea, guys, when you're in space time and you're accelerating towards the speed of light, the faster you go, the more energy it takes for you to go that fast. Think about this. It's the difference between walking and running a race. You're expanding more energy. You're going faster. It's using a lot more energy. So by the time you get near the speed of light, or when time you hit the speed of light, your mass becomes infinite, and it can no longer go that way. But there are ways to manipulate it. Earth is actually where we're located. Why other civilizations visit us? It's because we're near a portal. Think about it like this. Imagine living in a house off an exit ramp. That's basically what it's like. It's basically a superhighway. It's a highway, and then you get off, and Earth is right there. So that's what they basically do. Read the scriptures. In Islam, they call it Taj al-Ard, folding level. Saints do have the ability, as they have the secret name of Allah. Sheik, I don't know. Your name looks familiar too, by the way. Sheik, I don't know if you've seen my breakdown of the Quran, but it's basically an astrology book too. I've broken all this stuff down. So anyway, let me put this back up just in case everyone's interested. I got a bunch of people in here now. This is my book series, guys. And for the new people who are here, I was talking about them before. I would implore you to pick up the first book. And this is my website, debunkmywork.com. So all you got to do is click on one of these links. And it takes you to the Amazon link. And I'm just trying to get the real truth out to people. You know, it has my astrotheology in it that you probably guys have not heard, some of the stuff I've written about it in there. But it also has, it's a soft pill for people who are just starting to wake up, as I've mentioned before. It's going to wake you up to all the demented shit in the world, but it's going to do so in a story, so you're not freaked out. That's what you have to do. That's what I've done. So I don't see any more questions, but I'll be here for a few. It is not only astrology. The Mukata's letters, mysterious letters, do allow to do things beyond that. What do you mean by that? Because I have the Quran and I have the Hadith somewhere. I'm going to have to organize these books. But every time I see one, I just want to read the whole thing. Sheik, I would suggest you go to my website, debunkmywork.com, and see what I've figured out. So, anyway, guys, keep coming with the questions. Let's have some fun. Listen, does anybody want to come on? Anybody want to come on and talk? There's the link. And you have to copy it, put it in your browser, just put your name in there and make sure your camera and your video audio work. And then you can come on. So anybody that wants to come on and talk. The Mukata letters create the structure of the book, and it stars from the symbols. If you go to the word Allah, it represents the serpent and the staff and the crown and so on. It comes from forming. I don't know if Islam has some sort of Kabbalah to it too. Send me a link where I can read that, Sheik. I want to read that. Send me a link so I could see that. So what I was going to tell you guys is I'm starting to read the Talmud and I'm breaking it down. And we'll talk about it. What's in there, what's really in there, what's really not in there, misunderstandings. It's going to take me a little while. It's quite a book, but you see all these people talking about the Talmud online, right? Well, we're going to find out in real time what's actually in there. So I'm working on it. So I'll let you guys know when that's ready. So, does anyone else have any questions? Jeff Hoff is here. What do you make of the Q movement? Do you believe it's real or designed like Operation Trust to keep people waiting and doing nothing? You mean like religion? How people are coming to how people are still waiting for a Messiah? I am friends with a lot of Q people. I'm friends with a lot of Q people. I don't agree with everything, but it is kind of, if you look at the Q drops, or some of them, you'll find that a lot of stuff actually came true, but they're going to demonize it. And if you say Q, the media is already going to be like, oh, he's an idiot. The same media, by the way, where CNN dropped 50% of their viewers and axing a bunch of their talent, and MSLSD has just basically been destroyed. It's being sold by Comcast, MSNBC. Did I say MSLSD? Oh, it's pretty much the same thing anyway. Jeanette is here. Did the event take place that you anticipated happen or still coming? The event you couldn't mention, haven't watched for a couple of weeks. It's working slowly. It is working slowly. I got a couple big podcasts coming up because of it. So it is working, Jeanette. So thank you. Isn't the numerical coding in these religious books a whole other mystery? Yes, the Bible and all these the Bible at least is multi-layered. There's 11 holy sciences in it. Numerology is one of them. Astrology or astrotheology is another one of them. That's not just astrology. I never once said it was only an astrology book. I just found the astrology in all the books. So I'm like, why would they all be written the exact same way? That's so interesting. Can characters from previous lives show up in your dreams? That is a great question. Jamie, you have a very interesting brain. Can characters from previous lives show up in your dream? You wouldn't recognize them if they did. I always tell people the reason that you wake up after you die in a dream is because your brain doesn't know what happens next. That's what I always tell people. But as far as characters from previous lives, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm assuming maybe if you're really in tune. What is your email again? Into the Rabbit Hole series. I'll put it in there. Hold on. JRE, it's right there. Well, I was just going to ask about the Bible code. Yeah, I have all the Bible code books. They're fantastic. The problem with this stuff, like the Bible code, is it only... So how the Bible code works, for those of you guys who haven't read the book series, is there's a computer that's able to run all these algorithms on it. And what they do is they find common words. Like here, like you'll have the whole Hebrew text right here. And then a line right here will say like Obama or Bush. And this has been shown. A line here will say that it's Bush. Here it'll say Twin Towers. Here it'll say 9/11. And they basically find things that have already happened in the Bible, which is so fascinating. But what it doesn't do is predict future things. So all it is, to me, it's no different than numerology or gematria to me, because it only, well, not gematria, but numerology, because it only predicts after the fact. Annie is here. Hi, Annie. Hi. Danette is here. Good morning from Alabama. What's up, Danette? I'm in Florida. I'm a New Yorker stuck in Florida. Not stuck, but I'm here. Good morning. I have some good friends in Alabama, too. But God, I hate your football team. I hate the Crimson Tide. I'm sorry, Danette. Please don't use it against me. But I'm a Penn State fan. Long time in North Carolina. Okay. So guys, we got a bunch of new people in here. So the reason I left my books up there is because I'm asking you guys whether or not you're willing to support me, pick up a copy of my first book, and I would love to do a discussion about it at some point. I would love you all to pick up just my first book, and then let's have a discussion. And then maybe we can move on to the second. And I know not everybody's going to love the first book, but I have nothing but positive reviews on Amazon, and I have nothing but positive reviews in the chats when I do them here. Getting the book today. Thanks, Shari. Roll Tide. Danette, I'll block you. I'm kidding. Roll Tide. How are you, Danette? What's going on? I don't think I've seen you before. Where are you? What's going on? How'd you find me? Archaics. Jason Brashears predicts futures with calendrical isometrics. He calls it triangulation of similar events along mathematics. Well, Shari, I don't know. I've never seen you here before, but I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to be on Jason's show in 11 days at 7 p.m. Talk my astrotheology. So I'm going to be on Archaics right before Thanksgiving, so you guys can get a nice big story. Why don't they do searches for specific events or people? They do, but it's only after the fact. You have to read the Bible Code, but I want you guys to read my book first because that's probably more important. But the Bible Code, I've also done on my YouTube channel. I've been interviewing some guy named Garrick King, who discovered something called the 1111 Matrix Code. And I told him at one point, I said, get that software that is now so far advanced from what the Bible Code used. That was like at the beginning of the computer age. Now, forget it. And he's finding such incredible thing. People do search for stuff, but it doesn't always work. We spoke on Facebook a couple of times. Okay. Well, reach out to me more often. I don't see you commenting or liking many things, so let's start talking more. Woohoo, I'm a newbie. Been watching you at a distance for a bit. Explain at a distance for a bit. You've just been seeing what I've been talking about, and you're like, this dude's insane. I'll just follow him. Watched you a lot. Found about you in an interview on Leak Project. Many such cases. Yeah, Rex was my first interview that I ever did. I can't wait to see you on Jason's show. Oh, Jamie, I'm counting the days, man. Remember, guys, November 26th at 7 p.m. Jason Brashears from Archaics. Micah Dank. Astrotheology. And thank you for picking up the book. And anyone else, please pick up the first one. I found you over at Leak Project as well. I know. Jamie, we talk all the time. You're a good man. You're a good man. The only thing I would say to you, Jamie, if I were just to be critical, because I do see your posts all the time on Facebook, is try and come from a more loving perspective. Like, this is sacred knowledge, but you shouldn't hold it above anybody's head. You shouldn't make people feel dumb because they don't know it. You know, you should just try with the kindness, because that, you attract more flies with honey. So, according to Freemasons, the hidden light or missing piece on the pyramid can be calculated in the Bible and confirms it is Jesus. Let's say we know how to call upon it. What do you think will happen? So I've never heard that. And I do, in my second book, which is still up there, guys, The Sacred Stones, I explain to you in that book what the pyramids are, what happened to the capstones, and I finish it off with explaining to you how the Catholic Church created Islam in order to get Jerusalem back from the Jews, but Islam became too powerful. This is why you'll see pictures of the Pope John Paul kissing the Quran. And they're trying to bring it into a one-world religion, Chrislam, so that they can bury that secret. A Jesuit super priest called Alberto Rivera exposed all this before he was poisoned. And it's in my second book, The Sacred Stones. Yes, sir, I'm learning this now. Jamie, there's a saying that says, you don't know how much stress and anger goes into making a person this calm. The people like Keanu Reeves, who've been just through the most insane shit in his life, people who've had it the hardest, it brings you closer to God. I carry a grudge a little bit from Catholic school. I'm over it. Good. Yeah. So, and Sheik, I'm not trying to disrespect you because I could see you have an incredible understanding of things. And I've never actually spoken to a Muslim on my channel yet. But I do think I know some stuff that you don't. Anyway, guys, so I've been here for a little while. I'm going to take off. Please pick up the first book, and maybe in a few weeks we'll have people on and do a reading. Thank you.